In this section, I'm going to tell you a lot about the tags and the attributes because they are the foundations of web development. But before we get into that, I wanted to show you what creating a website based on a mockup might look like. How to create a website structure in HTML. Of course, you may not understand many things yet, but I'll try to tell you about everything by doing this project in front of your eyes. However, after this video, I'll explain the meaning of the tags in detail. Then what I'm doing right now will be even more clear. We can see the mockup of the website on the screen right now, and we will use it to create the structure of our website in HTML. Let's take a closer look on that mockup. Let's make it full screen, for example. Let's zoom it a little bit just to see everything better. So at the top of our website, we can see a header right now. In that header, we can see a heading right here. This would probably H1 tag. Here we can see a button with buy now text right here. It could be a link as well. Here we can see some notes from the designer. And we can see there should be a background image, plus the heading and plus the button, as I said before. After that, we can see the menu of our website, which is the navigation, which would be the nav tag in our HTML file. Here we can see a note where we can read that this should be a menu with 4 links to our 4 sections, which is home, offer, news, and contact. You can see the one section is highlighted differently, but it doesn't matter right now. Let's go on with the main part of our website right here. This is the main part. And here we can see 3 articles right now. Each article has its own heading, an image, which you can see a representation like this, some text of the article, and a button with read more text. Let's take a look on the note for the main part of the website. And we can see 3 articles, each with its own title, image, and description. Next to the main part of our website, we can see a place for advertising. So with some kind of a column, that would be probably a site tag in our HTML, but we will get to that. Let's go down a little bit. Here we can see some kind of a section with 3 images in it. And we can read from the note that there are 3 images leading to the most popular articles. So clicking on the image should redirect us to somewhere else. So those images probably should be also links. And at the bottom of our website, we can see a footer right now with some copyright text. And we have a simple note that this is a footer. So let's get to work with our website. First we have to do is to create the index.html file. Let's go to our day 3 and 4 folder. I already made the mockup project folder. So I'll create the index.html file right here. New file. Index.html. There we go. Let's create our basic structure. Exclamation mark, enter. There we go. Let's make our code editor bigger. Maybe we can zoom mockup a little bit. There we go. And let's get it done. Let's get the title of our website. Like this. And now let's go to our body tag and create the main sections of our website. First part of our website we can see at the top of our mockup is the header. So let's create it. Like this. Header is usually an introduction to our website. It's supposed to have some heading, some image in the background, or a banner. After header, we can see a menu on our website, which is the navigation, which is the nav tag in the HTML. So let's create it. Like this. After the navigation, we can see the main part of our website, which is this part with those 3 articles right here. So we can use the main tag in HTML, just like this. Next to it, we can see this column right here. This is supposed to be the place for the advertising. So the aside tag would be proper in my opinion. Just like this. Down there we can see those 3 images grouped together. So I would probably use the section tag. Let's do this. And at the bottom of our website we can see the footer. So we can use a footer tag with no problem. Every of these elements can be used on our website not only once but many times. So now when we have our main parts created, let's start to fill those parts with the content. Let's start with the header. I will separate the other parts just for the clarity. It will be easier for me. Now let's go to the header in our mockup. Let's read the notes from the designer once again. We can see that this is supposed to be a background image. So the background image is created in CSS, so we will not create it in our HTML file. So let's focus on the other part, because the background image would be at the background of the heading and this button right here. So let's create our heading, which would be h1 tag. Let's put the text into it. Now you can see the button with buy now text right here. So we could create the button in our HTML, but this button leads us probably to other web page, which would be a shopping cart, for example. So it is probably a link. So I would recommend to use an A tag instead of the button, which also may look in CSS exactly like the button. As we can see, we have this href attribute already, which is the hypertext reference, which is the exact link to our website we want to redirect the user to. So it would be, for example, shopping cart. And after clicking this link, the user would be redirected to the shopping cart subpage. We also have to place text to our A tag, which is buy now. Let's make it bigger a little bit. And since we don't have this shopping cart HTML file, we can for this moment just leave the hash right here, so it won't redirect us anywhere or even reload the page. All this href attribute will do right now is to put us at the top of our website when we click it. So it's a good placeholder for the href attributes making projects like this. Now you may notice that this text in our project and this text right here in our heading and our button are in uppercase, and you may wonder why I did it in our HTML file like this, which is not uppercase. So the good practice creating the HTML code is to put your text normal with capital letters only at the beginning of the sentence, because the appearance of the text, as for example the uppercase font, should be set in CSS. Now let's make our navigation, which you can see right here in our project. So let's go to our nav tag right here. We usually do the navigation in HTML in the UL tag, which stands for the unordered list. And inside the UL tag, we are supposed to create an ally tags, which are the list items. And every position of our navigation should be a list item in our HTML file. So the first one we have home. Then we can copy it, paste it. Here we got offer. Then we got news. And contact. Just like this. Now let's save our file. And let's open it with the live server because I want to show you something. This is how our navigation looks right now. You can see those dots right here. It's because the unordered list is displayed by the browser like this by default. For example, ordered list, which is the OL tag, would be numbered like this. But we usually use the UL tag like this. And we can see now our list items are dotted like this. But there's one issue right now. Our list items should be clickable. When we click to the home, for example, we go to the home subpage. If we click to the offer, to the news, and to the contact, it's supposed to do the same. But now, as you can see, our list items are not clickable at all. And that's because we have to use the A tags inside our LI elements. So I will show it to you. Here we have an A tag, already the opening tag and the closing tag. In our href attribute, we can put the slash, which would redirect the user to the main catalog of our website, which would be the index.html file, which would be our home subpage. Let's save our file. Let's see if something changed. We can see there is no difference. And that's because this text is outside our A tag, as you can see right here. We have our list item. Here our A tag is opened and here is closed. And the text is outside our A tag. What we want to do right now is to cut it from here and paste it in our A tag. So here we can see the opening of our list item, the closing of our list item, and inside we have our A tag with the opening, with the closing, and our text inside our A tag. Let's save our file. And now you can see our home is clickable and everything works fine. Now let's do the same with our other list items. I will just delete the other ones. Copy this one. Paste it. Change the text. Like this. Let's make it bigger a little bit. And you have to remember that each list item should redirect us to the other page. So let's create the dummy web pages in our href attributes like this. So that clicking to each link in our nav tag will get us to other page of our website. Of course, if we really want to go, for example, to this HTML file, we have to create it first, that's obvious. But that's not what we want to do in this project. You can see that this doesn't look like in our project, which you can see right here. But the purpose of creating the website structure in HTML is not that it has to look like in the project. That's the role of the CSS, which you could see in the previous video. Now let's take a look to the main part of our website, which is right here, which contains 3 articles, and each of the article has its own title, image, some text, and a button. So let's create it. Let's go to our main tag. Inside our main tag, let's create an article tag like this. Let's create h1 as the title of our article. this. Then we have an img tag for our image. Here you can see src attribute, which is the source to our image, which could be, for example, like this. And here we can see alt attribute, which is the alternative text, where we can place what's on our image. For people with any sight disability, or for the situations when our image could not be displayed on the website. Then the user will get this message, what's in the picture. I'll make those text indents smaller, like this. Let's put this column off the screen as well to have some more space for our code. Let's save our file. And let's take a look in our live server. Here you can see this icon right here, which tells us that the image could not be displayed. That's because we don't have this image. It's only a dummy source attribute right now. But we can see that if our image could not be displayed, we will get this alternative text just to know what is supposed to be on the image. Now let's go back to our mockup. We have our title, we have our img. So now let's put some text to our article. Let's put it in the p tag. Let's place the lorem. There we go. And the last thing in our article is this button right here. It could be as well the link, as we could see it in our header right here. But it also may be a button, which when we click it, will spread the whole article on our main page. So since we have the button in the form of a tag right here, let's place just a button right here with the text read more, just like this. Since our three articles are the same, well, now I see I did a mistake. You could probably see it as well. I placed the button and the p tag outside of our article. So I'll just cut it from here and place it inside our article, just like that. And as I said, since our all three articles look the same, we can just copy the whole article, paste it 2 more times, change the titles, and voila, we have our all three articles in our HTML file. And now, just to save some space, we can hide those three articles with the function I already showed you, which are those arrows right here. When you click it, we can hide all three articles inside our main tag just to save some space. As I showed you, they are still in our HTML file and everything works fine. We just hide it from our eyes to make our work more comfortable. Let's go to our mockup once again. We can see this note from the designer right here. It's a place for advertising, so we are not sure what it's supposed to be right here. So let's just leave the aside tag for now. Let's go to our section. Here we can see we have 3 images in our section. So let's create them. First, img tag with the source. Section img with the alternative text. Now let's copy it, paste it 2 times, let's save it. Let's go to the note we have from the designer right here. And we can see that those 3 images are supposed to lead to the most popular articles. Let's open it in our live server. Let's go down a little bit. Here you can see our 3 section images. And you can see we are not able to click it at all. So what we are supposed to do in this situation, just like with our list before, we have to wrap our IMGs into the A tags to make them clickable links. So let's go to our HTML file once again. Let's create the A tag outside our IMG. Let's cut this closing tag. And paste it at the end of our IMG. Let's leave the hash in the href attribute at the moment. Save our file. And now you can see that our IMG, the first one, now is clickable. And after clicking it, we can go to the link placed in the href attribute, which could be some popular article. So let's do the same with all 3 images right now. Let's delete these ones. Copy the first one. And paste it 2 times. Let's see it. Now we can see that all our images in the section are also the links. And we can click it to go somewhere else. Let's go to our mockup once again. Let's zoom it. The last thing we need to do is our footer right here. So let's do this. We could place directly the text in our footer tag like this. But we are not supposed to do that. It's not a good idea to place the text in the main elements. We have special tags for it, like for example P. That's the best tag to put your text into. Then we can place our text like footer, like this. But in our mockup we can see we have to create a copyright mark. It's an easy way to do this with the entity. With entities you can place many special signs in HTML. If you want, you can Google HTML entities list, but I want to show you the one, which is the copyright mark. And how do you put it? Is all you have to do is to place the ampersand, copy, and a semicolon at the end. And it would be placed by the HTML in a copyright mark. Let's save it and let's see it in our project. And you can see it right here. Let's make space between just to look it better. Just like this. Here you can see the special mark. As I said, it's made by an entity. You can Google entities list in HTML. There are many special signs that we can create in HTML by that kind of code with ampersand and some text or symbols after. Now let's take a look on our project. Here we can see our mockup project and our website structure in HTML. And that is everything we have to do in HTML for this project. It wasn't too much, was it? At this stage, it is worth to discuss the tags that we can use creating such a website structure.